Hello. Thank you for the applause. Thank you, kangaroos, for jumping. This is Sir David, the Bard, and I have a video. I have an article that I'm going to share with you, and it's not funny. There's nothing funny about the article. But I did a video yesterday on suicide, and I told you, find something funny. In the world, there are some funny things. They're sad when you look at them, but then pretty soon you can get your mind going and think, that's funny. Now, here we go. Okay, here we go. This is from the New Order Mormon, and it's dated, oh God, I just saw it a minute ago, there we are, January 23, 2013 at 8 p.m., okay? Now, again, please don't misinterpret what I'm reading and what I'm saying. This is tragic. It's a sad thing for the family, and it's outrageous. But I'm bipolar. I see funny shit. If you do, fine. If you don't and you think I'm an ass, like so many do, turn me off. Alright. Think of a person least likely to commit suicide in your life and insert the name here. A member of my old ward, currently sitting on the bishopric, who I knew intimately over a 10-year period, hung himself in the cultural hall of my old building. I knew those basketball hoops were good for something. They never benefited me. I didn't like basketball. I wasn't going to go in there, bounce a ball, and throw it at the wall and think that I was important. A lot of the other boys like those basketball hoops, and of course the girls in the Mormon church love those hoops because they hook their wedding decorations to them, and it's cheap for them to get married. It's very expensive the rest of their life to pay 10% of their income for those basketball hoops. But anyway, I think it's funny, other than the tragedy. I'm Jekyll and Hyde on this one, okay? Now, there's a lot of places I told you, I've tried to kill myself, 5 or 6 suicides. I never thought of the inside of a Mormon church. It's a good idea. If I'm going to make a statement, hang me on the basketball hoop. I'll be one-on-one, one dead body on one dead hoop. All right. Now, let's be serious here for a minute. The young women's program were just entering to make use of the room. His daughter supposedly were among them. This is not funny. I don't know why I see it funny, but I can see her girlfriend turning to her and saying, "Becky, isn't that your dad up there? Is he just joking around?" Now, see, I'm being punished. Satan is on me. That is tragic. You're in the Mormon cult and ward and bubble, and you walk in and you see your dad hanging on the damn basketball hoop. Well, the boys came in and go, "Holy shit, can we still use that hoop? He's not that much in the way. Can we just go ahead and run our program tonight? Get him swinging, and when he's swinging, shoot in between when he comes back and forth." All right, I'm terrible. I'm a terrible human being, and you guys all know it. That's you like the bad boys. That's why you guys watch me. You like the bad boys. Anyway, the young women, and his daughter was among them. The young women were just entering to make use of the room. His daughter, supposedly among them. This guy gave 100% in all callings, was personable, and wildly successful in career and family. He left a note which has not been released publicly. The members of the ward are in complete shock at what would seem completely inexplicable, based on the deep and long-standing relationship he had with the members. They will not be holding meetings at that building until further notice. I don't think the church has a policy. It didn't. It does now. But when there's a dead body hanging in the basketball hoop, The Mormons haven't even thought of a policy for that. That'll be in the new handbook, page 666. If the bishopric hangs themselves in the gym, this is what you do. Jeez. Anyway, they'll not be holding meetings in that building until further notice. Of all the things I don't get is why he chose the location he did. Interesting. He would have to know that after years of service in the ward, that killing himself in the building would send some sort of message to his closest friends and loved one. That's the most true statement in that report right there. Okay. Jeez, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Damn. I remember being a kid and going into the rec hall and, the lights are all off and you turn the lights on. What would it be like to see the bishopric hanging on the goalpost there on the basketball hoop? Well, they're having a wedding in there in the morning. Do you cut him down or do you pretend he's a piñata? Damn. I've taken my meds today. Stop that shit. I've taken my meds. Sunday is out or whatever day of week it is. I just think it is sad and pathetic that this guy had no one to talk to. He's a leadership in the Mormon church, and his bishop and other counselor, whatever, he couldn't confide in. Maybe he molested somebody. That was better. Hanging in the cultural hall was better than hanging out at Folsom Prison as a child molester. I don't know. But I'm just saying how tragic it is that this cult does not take care of its own. It doesn't. The welfare program is in shambles. If you get anything in welfare from the Mormon church, it's because you're a big tithe payer. If you ain't a tithe payer, you go to the homeless shelter. That's it. They're broke. They've fired the janitors. They have fired 10% of the COB, which church office building employees. And now they're losing members in the recreation hall. What do you do? Now listen, this is bipolar shit, okay? So the bishop comes and says, there's an emergency, bishop, come to the church. And the bishop says, well, what is it? And said, well, Brother Smith is just hanging around in the cultural hall. He says, I'll be right there. So the bishop comes in, and here's his first counselor dangling dead on the basketball hoop. And now the bishop, he calls the stake president, the two of them get together, and they're standing there looking at this dead body twisting in the wind. It looks like Tom Dooley. You're all too young. You don't remember the song, Hang Down Your Head, Tom Dooley, Today's the Day You Die. And he was hanging from an old oak tree. So the bishop and the stake president are standing there, and the stake president says, now this is going to be a problem. And the bishop said, well, I know it is. I know the family. And trying to call a new counselor for me as the bishop is going to be difficult. Not a lot of people are going to want to take his position, President. He says, no, I don't care about the family. I don't give a shit about the church. It's the insurance. It's the fucking insurance. How am I going to call, church office building, which they self-insure? I don't know if they have a liability. I think they're self-insured for liability. He says, yes, this is President Smith down here in the honky-tonk stake, and there's a death we have to report. And the adjuster says, well, what was it? Did someone fall out on the snow or hit in the parking lot? He says, no, one of the bishopric got hung up in the gym. He says, well, is he all right? He says, I don't think so. He's pretty cold and he's pretty stiff. Well, is the heater working? Well, yeah, the heater's working. Well, I don't understand what you mean that he's hanging up in the gym. He said, well, he has a pair of garments around his neck and he hung them from the basketball hoop and he jumped off a chair. And the church office building is going to say, hold please, I need to transfer you to Monson. We don't have too many claims like this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to the family, and I'm so sorry to the child that walked in and here's their dad, hanging around. But damn, I just think that there's some funny things in life. And to me, this is one of them. You know, I think suicide is a tragic, tragic thing, and I'm speaking from experience. You know, I've died 100 times. Every time I get on this video show, I die. So anyway, what do you do? Do you change and buy a new basketball hoop, or do you let the young men shoot and say, see if you can get Brother Smith? One-on-one, Brother Smith. What do you do? And when the women have a wedding there, Brother Smith's basketball hoop is right there. Make sure you hang your wedding decorations there. Or if you have a party and you put a piñata on there, and the kids are hitting it with a bat and they can't get it, and he says, pretend it's Brother Smith. Just beat the crap out of him. He'll never feel a thing. You think I'm making this stuff up. I'm not. He hung himself in the basketball gym on the hoop there. So anyway, any of you Mormons that are feeling a little down, stay the hell out of the cultural hall. Thanks.